years behind bars, facing a slew of allegations.
Diddy has gotten away with so many things decade after decade, and so today is a day that a lot of my sources kind of hoped but feared would never happen.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
What the indictment essentially says is that Combs Enterprises was a criminal organization being run by Diddy. It means using your employees, for example, to facilitate crimes, to get you drugs, to get you sex workers, to bribe people, to threaten people, to get you guns.
When this indictment is unveiled, is starkly similar to the same accusations Cassie laid out in her lawsuit. There is a mention of freak-offs. There is a mention of physical violence. Her lawsuit served as a roadmap for this indictment.
The level of detail was intense.
They seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and it became a little bit of a meme or a joke on social media. But prosecutors were trying to demonstrate that these freak-offs were very organized events.
He and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims.
He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime. Eventually, he's going to be shown to be innocent, and we'll fight every day until we don't have to fight anymore.
A judge orders Sean Diddy Combs held without bail.
Diddy was denied bail because the government said, this man is a danger to the community. They said, he's already demonstrated that he's willing to tamper with witnesses, harassing them and calling them dozens and dozens of times, or bribing them or threatening them. So we can't let him out on bail because it's going to interfere with the integrity of the case.
I think this is the first time that we've seen someone of this prominence in the music community have such a high fall from grace. Diddy is at the peak of his career, that he is a businessman, he is a father, he is a pillar of the community music industry and also the Black community. To see him picked up and kind of right away, it's really kind of a unprecedented moment.
The Southern District of New York is known as one of the most aggressive prosecutorial offices in the country. They want the elephant. I think it's very possible that Diddy has seen his last day as a free man.
When something notorious or salacious happens to a career, there can be this mood that you can't celebrate the good days of it too. That can happen. There was a lot of good days. There's a lot of brilliant people that made it all happen.
He made hip-hop seem so vital and lively to American culture that everyone wanted to be a piece of it.
I used to beam with pride because I know I was there in those formative years to help lay the foundation.
To me, it's all about power. The industry in a whole can't keep turning a blind eye to these situations.
There's a lot of people like Puffy in this music business. Exposing Puffy means exposing them.
We are taught no snitching. We're taught to suppress violence and abuse. And so that gives abusers space to thrive. I'm not afraid anymore. Scream it from the mountaintops. These people do not have the power that you think that they do. I was questioning my faith, apologizing for things that I dreamed about. Like, why did I put this on myself? And I haven't been able to express that without the world victim blaming and shaming me and telling me I just need to be grateful because he gave me an opportunity.
I have 9 bullet fragments that remain in my face and my head. He took my peace of mind.
He took my sense of safety.
Being able to speak about it is like liberation to a certain extent. But if I could just block everything out, even till today, I would want that. That'll be best for me. So I don't have the trauma anymore.
Combs faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars, up to life in prison if convicted on these 3 felony counts.
I love the music that came out of Bad Boy Records. If the accusations and the complaints are true, it wasn't worth it. You can't listen to it, at least I cannot, listen to it with the same joy. I don't trust accountability in this male culture. Cases are being overturned. Almost to say, you thought we believed you? You thought the accountability was gonna happen, right? We just let you have that for like a little while, and we just gonna snatch it right back. So you say, is somebody gonna be held accountable? I'm like, I don't know. And then I say, and even if they are, what happened still happened.
It's October 2nd. I'm currently in Manhattan, New York. Tomorrow I'm going to be speaking to a grand jury about my former employment with Combs Enterprises.
Hey, yo, Phil, can you give me 20 Xanax, please? I need my Gucci bag of it. Hey, yo, Phil, can you come straighten it up over here? I live in luxurious and mushroom capsule. I need 10 out of I need some Cialis. Phil, I need a plan B. And Phil, do we have any more chocolates? Because she's going to need a chocolate in a minute.
This has all been a very psychological, emotional roller coaster for me.
I ain't gonna lie.
Kind of nerve-wracking. It can be very scary.
And you cannot escape this.
We know what this person is capable of doing.
I'm not about to be transparent for y'all or anybody. Anything I want people to know, I'm going to let them know. You're in the process of what I'm allowing you to see. It's the dark places y'all never don't want to go. Stay where you're at.
It kind of does follow you. It follows you everywhere. And I'm still dealing with the aftermath of all this. However, all I can do is speak my truth. Here I am. Stay tuned for more. My name is Phil Pines. I was a senior executive assistant for Mr. Combs, and I started in December of 2019, and I ended in December 2021. For me, the reason I wanted to tell my story was, to make sure that Sean Combs and people like him can't do these kind of things to anybody else.
You have filed a complaint against Sean Combs and Christina Combs, and we would just like to discuss with you some of those personal allegations.
It's hard to come here and sit down with you and talk about these situations because he was somebody that I looked up to. He said, "What are you doing here?" the first time he spoke to me. I said, "Mr. Combs, working for you is a dream of mine. I want to be here. What are you talking about?" That was the truth. I wanted to work for him. And they always say, sometimes when you meet your heroes, they let you down. I started to work for Mr. Combs, it felt amazing. It felt like I was around one of the most powerful people in the world, really, when it comes to culture. You know, he was so influential on everybody. So it was just exciting initially. Miami was like a playground for Mr. Combs. He liked warm weather. The house was right there on the bay in Star Island. I was a personal assistant, someone to staff the principal on a day-to-day basis, packing his bags, rolling his calls, getting him prepped for a meeting. And then there was one particular night that he came up to me and gave me a long list of items that he wanted and requested for his bedroom. And that was the night that I understood kind of the assignment and what was going to potentially be our responsibility moving forward. Wild King Night was something that got text message to me. I kind of started to understand the context of what that is, so then you could kind of put it together and understand,
Is the Wild King Night the same thing as the Freak Off? Are these the same event with different names?
I didn't hear of Freak Offs until, it came up in one of the first claims that was presented to the public. I didn't hear of that term.
So as far as you knew, those were always referred to as Wild King Night?
Yeah, Wild King Night.
Now, Diddy is also known for these extravagant, star-studded bashes. Were the Wild King Nights happening at these big star-studded events?
I think there's a difference and a disparity between what people think they were, meaning that there was hundreds of people engaging in these activities. That wasn't my experience.
How many people would typically be there?
It's a small batch of people. It's a very intimate group of people.
What would he require for a Wild King Night?
We usually have laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, Molly. We have mushrooms on the top there.
Was the code to the safe 1, 2, 3, 4?
Baby oil and Astroglide were very important. Candles, incense, Apple TVs, electronics, computers, iPads. Obviously there was, male libido supplements, stuff like that. Those requests started to become more frequent. They started to occur on a daily basis. There was a requirement. We had to keep those things stocked.
Dude, can you come back upstairs to help me set up the red light?
I would get a lot of voice notes from Diddy.
How often?
Daily, hourly, every 5 minutes, every 5 seconds.
Would you ever be asked to bring things to Diddy during a Wild King Night while it was ongoing?
Yeah, for sure.
So I need some Cialis. Give me 20 Xanax, please. Hey, Phil, I need a plan B. I need 10 of the mushroom capsules, the microdose. Bring that out to me, please.
What would you see when you would go into the room?
There wouldn't be anything happening while you were walking into the room.
But there would be people there.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about who the guests were?
A lot of times there was girls who were a little bit under the radar that didn't have a lot of influence. I think that speaks to the type of situations people were put in. A lot of times you have him with a younger female. There's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in as opposed to somebody who might be a celebrity who's not gonna really do too much of that or kind of get some pushback.
How old when you say young?
20s.
So in terms of the criminal charges that Diddy is facing, his team has said he didn't break any laws. These were all consenting adults. The fact that he is facing criminal charges for this shows that the government is sexist and puritanical and uptight, and he was just partying. These were all consenting adults. What do you make of that argument? Was he just partying like a rap star, or do you believe that there were laws that were broken?
Look, there's partying and then there's party. And in my experience, I wasn't in these rooms while these things were happening. It's between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent. there was guests that would frequently come over and participate in these intimate situations, sometimes you would see new faces. Sometimes you see new faces come in and you wouldn't see them again. I remember a time when Diddy told me to come up and grab one of his guests' bags, take it out of the car and drive her to her hotel. I don't know what took place. All I can say is that when I had brought her down to the car, she was shaking. Visibly shaken. Didn't look like how she looked the night before. She said something to the effect of, "I've never done anything like this before."
Did you ever see Diddy get violent? Did you ever witness violence?
I absolutely witnessed violence, yes. I remember a time when I saw him assault one of his guests at his home in Florida. Things were getting a little heated. They were being very argumentative. He cursed at her. Told you I was crazy. Kicked her. She fell to the ground. Kicked her again. He said, "Take off the hoodie." She took off the hoodie, threw it at him. She was topless. And my quick thinking was that I had a little jacket on. So took it and covered her. Got her into the Uber and she went home.
Did you ever see her again?
I did. She was showered with gifts. My direct supervisor, Christina, was aware of what happened. And Christina told me to never speak about it again. Christina was his day-to-day manager. Eventually, she became the chief of staff. Everybody at that level, kind of has a right-hand man or a right-hand woman. Someone who can be trusted with everything, from personal to business, to good to bad. I like marriage.
So we going to toast to you, soul sister.
A lot of times, delegation would come from her.
Messages you provided where, according to you, Christina Corum has said he's going to need emergency cleanup at the hotel. Why emergency cleanup? What does that mean?
That means that he destroyed the hotel room. The longer he's there, the more intense the cleanup is going to be.
Yo, Phil, can you come straighten it up over here? Not looking luxurious.
That was, for me, probably one of the hardest things to do. When you get there and you see the wreckage, you see the stains, you see the bodily fluids, you see the used condoms, you see the baby oil half used, the Astroglide oozing down the sides of the bottle, and you have to pick it up. Broken glass, urine, blood. It wasn't uncommon for there to be stains on furniture, stains on sheets that we need to remove. One can only imagine what was actually happening. It's disgusting. It's a little triggering for me because the smell of baby oil is something that, I don't ever want to have to smell again. I mean, kid you not, you could slip because there was baby oil on the floor. There would be baby oil surrounding the bathtub, and there would be a bathtub full of water. And you would reach down there to unplug, and you would feel the baby oils in the tub.
One of the things that the feds have said in their case is that these events were recorded. Did you ever see evidence of video recordings?
Yeah. It was on his devices that were his iPad, his laptop, even his personal phone. I had access to all those things. I would see people engaging in sexual activity.
Did you ever see Diddy engaging in sexual activity?
I wouldn't see him engaging, but I would see him directing. He's usually the one filming, from my experience. We were instructed to scrub these things, search history from the Safari, delete that, delete any photos and videos that might be on these devices. If any of his family members see this, if any of his partners or executives come over and want to use the iPad to present him a deck, they can't see any of that stuff. And you can easily stumble upon those kind of things when you're using those devices. That was my job, is to shield his private life from the public.
Did you ever feel that you were enabling Diddy, or did you ever feel complicit or responsible in any way?
When you're working for someone like that, you are trusting their authority to be sound and capable of making decisions. Moral compass was obviously something I was questioning when I started to experience him. It takes me back to that time and how I felt and how I looked. It was very apparent that I was physically not there. Very skinny. A lot of people were asking me if I was sick. I was just pushing myself to the limit because that was the expectation. I couldn't think for myself because everything was about him and the job.
How important was loyalty to Diddy?
Everything. I mean, you don't get that close to him without earning his trust.
Did he ever test you? Did he ever try to make you prove yourself?
Something I'll never forget, actually. I think my life changed a lot from that day. I've never really recovered from it. This particular incident, he had been drinking all day. The party and the group of people got smaller and smaller and smaller. Get condensed down to just a few people. And yeah, hey, set up the vibe upstairs. The vibe is the lights, the alcohol, the drugs, the things that he likes to use when he's gonna party. That wasn't uncommon. I felt like this was a normal thing. But that turned very quickly. I took a shot with him, with the group, which again wasn't uncommon. It was rare, but it wasn't uncommon for you to, have a drink with him every now and then. That was just a way of kind of like making sure you felt comfortable. And then go back to the office, sit there, get summoned again to the room, come take a shot. He's out of his mind at this point. I mean, you can tell. And this, again, he's in rare form, as we would call it, rare form.
It's okay. Take your time.
I remember hearing the words, "Prove your loyalty to me, King." He grabbed me by the shoulders, kind of gave me like a quick massage, like a coach would give a player that's about to enter the game in. Handed me a condom. Pushed me to a girl that was on the couch. A guest. I froze before it took place. Didn't know what was really happening. So in the moment, it just felt like, what? Like, is this fun for him? Is this a test? Is this for entertainment? Does he know that he's actually doing this? Is he that gone? I didn't know what to do. She gave me the consent, yeah, nodded her head. I performed for a little bit. And then I ran out of there as soon as I didn't see him on my side anymore.
Why didn't you just say no?
No one knows what it feels like to be in that situation until you're in that situation. I heard about previous employees getting physically assaulted. I saw how angry and upset he could get from the most simplest thing. And I just thought to myself, if I don't do this, I don't know what's gonna happen.
So was that the only time that he forced you to cross a line?
Yeah. When it came to engaging in that type of activity, yeah. I had a great sense of remorse following that situation right on the job. I wanted to tell somebody, but there was so much at stake. I knew if I had said anything that some kind of bomb would just explode. I hid that from everybody, including my significant other, my family, other employee. I come from a Christian background. I lean on those morals heavily. Sorry. You got me. It was a circus. He did whatever he wanted. And we were just at his disposal.
Power to the people. Say it. Power to the people. Power to the people.
He's a predator. And I mean that in a sexually charged way. I mean that in a manipulation way.
Let's give it up for ourselves.
He has an innate ability to make you feel comfortable and to make you do things for him that you would never do. When the lights go off and the red lights go on, he seemed different. Dark presence, heavy. And that was my experience. That was everybody's experience who knew him beyond the lights and cameras. I'm hoping my story and my truth can help others get to the light, because it's dark around him. It's very dark.